Syracuse and Florida State. Florida State's 17.5-point favorite, and the total is 56. And don't forget to go back if you want, take a look at the show that I made yesterday as the lines came out. It was kind of like a real-time show where I was reading off the opening line move and how the line was moving on each of these games, including this one with Syracuse and Florida State. But I do have a strong play here with these two. This one opened at 52.5 at Circa and moved all the way up to 56.5. It's been since bought back down to 56. Okay, I get it. Florida State, they're pretty great. The line opened 19.5. It's down to 17.5. There is some action coming in, no doubt, on Syracuse. One book even opened it as high as minus 20. And now we're seeing it at minus 17.5. Syracuse has a pretty good defense. I think we can all agree with that. They've gone 1-5 so far to the under. They're 4-2. Okay, Florida State's great, but Syracuse got a pretty good team. Last year was a blowout. I know, 38-3. Florida State rocked them. It was at Syracuse. So that's pause for concern, especially against a Seminole team that is 3-2 against the spread to go with their 5-0 record so far, and Florida State averaging 42 points a game. I don't think they're going to get 42 points in this game. I don't think they are. I'm glad the spread's moved up. It's got me on a premium. This is a premium for me. It's just it's Monday. I want to get ahead of these lines. Maybe they'll continue to move higher, but I just want to play it here now. And further, it sounds like you guys are all over Florida State. I've just got the under. I'm going to respect this move. Let me tell you guys this. For at least the Sharps are taking care of this for you. The books opened it up, said, hey, we want you to lay almost 20 points. And the Sharps said, no, not us. We're going to make some big money bets at some books and make sure this spread is not that high. And let all the people that love that Florida State team this year come in and put all their bets in on Florida State. The books are making this a much cheaper line for this. The hook's still there, so don't. I'm not necessarily giving out Syracuse here just yet. In fact, I don't know now. It's kind of scary, right? 2 years ago, Syracuse went down to Florida. Now that was a difference. I'm not even going to say it, but it was 33-32 seasons ago in Tallahassee. But I've got a strong play on the under here. It's a premium for me. Syracuse allowing 19 points a game so far this season. Yeah, they're going to be going up against the fourth-ranked team in the country, so this will be tough. But I think Syracuse up for the challenge at least to play a great game, play a good game, play their best game. They're 4-2. They've had some nice results here. Certainly, if you look back, last two games haven't been great. The game against North Carolina, certainly an embarrassment. But coming off two poor efforts in a row, I'm gonna think that Syracuse is gonna have a little bit of defense here. They've gone under. I mentioned the first game was over, but it was 65-0 Florida State over Colgate. Since then, it's been 5 straight unders. So I'm going under here, Syracuse and Florida State, and feel very strongly about it, and that's why I'm giving it out on a Monday at 56. Just that half a point buyback concerned me, and the opener as low as it was. To me, I would think the perception is Syracuse, if they're going to stay in the game, right, has enough defense to stay in, and it's not about necessarily keeping up offensively. Is that right? What do you guys think? Thanks a lot. We're talking big games, right? we did say we're talking big games. This is one of them. This is a big game, believe it or not, with Georgia Southern and James Madison here. Georgia Southern comes in with a 4-1 record, and James Madison comes in at 5-0. Last year, Georgia Southern won this game. Let me see what it was. I want to say it was a high-scoring game. So far, Georgia Southern 3-1-1 against the spread. They've gone 1-4 to the under thus far in their games. And right now, Madison averaging 33 points per game, allowing 22. Georgia Southern averaging 35 points per game and allowing 20 points per. Last week it was for Georgia Southern. They did a great job in that game against Coastal Carolina, 38-28. They won. They got the number. They also won and covered against Ball State the week prior. Been a good run here so far. Only the game against Wisconsin when they were getting 20.5 points and they lost by 21 points has been their only game that they didn't cover the spread. They've gone, like I said, under in 4 of 5. For Madison, they're coming off that game against South Alabama. They've won and covered 3 straight. Of course, they've won all their games, but they've covered 3 straight now. They failed to cover against Virginia. They were favored in that one by 6, but they only won by 1 point. So I'm on Madison here to get this one. I'm taking James Madison. I think you see the total there at 58. It opened 60.5, went all the way down to as low as 57.5, and is now back up to 58. There's going to be a lot of points scored in this game. It's going to be pretty close. I'm not sure I can give out the total here necessarily just yet. Feels like it could be a premium, but just want to see a little bit more information. But I like Madison in this game to win it by probably a touchdown. And it's a near premium, not quite, but just a big game that I wanted to cover on that. I'm not sure I'm going to get there on a premium, but certainly a big one for these two teams. You look at it, I mean, you have to think that offensively, Georgia Southern, they're kind of a deal. They're throwing the ball pretty well, no doubt about it. They're averaging 337 yards passing per game so far this season, but they're more dink and dunk. Madison takes some shots. Madison takes some shots down the field. So I think this one could have some high scoring. Madison runs the ball better for sure. That's one thing. Defensively, you have Georgia Southern better pass defense for sure than Madison, but Madison probably is better against the run. So there's some contrasting things here that kind of I think it just favors Madison. I know there's a hook on there, and I'm going to get off that hook and take them somehow to win, and maybe I'll get down to 2.5 and just lay some juice. We'll see what's on line. It's been 4, it's been 3, it's 3.5 now, but it sounds like Ray likes Georgia Southern in this one. And I'll take Madison. With me and Darren, we're on Madison here. So I wanted to get that score from last year, right? That was 45 to 38, first ever meeting last year. It was a wild one with a ridiculous. There was 1,000 yards passing in the game last year. 1,000 yards passing. James Madison also rushed for 200 yards, but Georgia Southern rushed for 12 yards. There were 130 yards in penalties. Madison turned the ball over 4 times, lost the game 45-38. Boy, that's a lot of yards. I don't even know if what I'm I don't even know if what I'm looking at is right anymore. I better go check that. Nonetheless, it was a crazy game. I do remember that. So this one sounds like it'll be crazy. Maybe we should be on the over. I think I like over, but I don't know. That buyback kind of worries me. Let's see how it goes later in the week. I want to see what the Sharps do. I always say I know what the Sharps are on. I don't know necessarily. I think they're on the over, but I'm not sure. So, all right. Thanks a lot. That's a good one. That is a good one. That should be some point. It does feel a little light now. I almost want to kick it in on the over. We'll see. I'm not ready yet. Okay. Here's one that I think this line's going to be wrong. It's only 19 now. Just as I was about to come on the air, the screen lit up, and they were taking Purdue here in this one. I thought I was going to come in here and kind of be all cute and tell you how much I liked Purdue in this game. And I think I'm still going to do it. I think I'm still going to take Purdue plus these points. I'm feeling pretty contrarian, but I think Purdue is going to be able to have enough experience here to limit Ohio State. Not in any, I'm pretty sure it'll come pretty close to the spread. But I think that Purdue getting 19 is good. I think it's going to be enough. I think they can, So I'd be okay until about 17 points with recommending it here on the show. I think it was going to be a premium. I'm not sure. It's still tough, to tell. That's one thing. If you're right, that's one thing. And anybody who subscribed to my picks, right? Sometimes I write up these games, and I'm not just saying it. I mean, anybody can say anything they want on the YouTube shows. I think we've got some subscribers in here. Maybe they can attest to this. Sometimes I write up the game and I say kind of like, this game's going to have some defense. Nobody's expecting, and then it'll end up right around and I say the score, and it's going to end it, and boom, we get it. And here, I'm kind of going to, I don't know if it's necessarily a thread the needle spot, but I think the fact that the game will kind of be lower, I think it's going to be under 51. I don't know if I'm ready to give that out just yet, and I'm not even sure that it is a play on the total, that I would give out. I mean, I don't know, could go down and I end up on the over, don't know. But I think because the game could end up in the high 40s, I think that's just going to favor taking 19 points. Yeah, was it 21? It was. It opened 20 and a half. It touched 21. It's gone. I did, like I said, I thought one book had it kind of lower than this, but I'm just going off the line screen. It wasn't part of our opening line coverage. So, like I said, I'd be comfortable probably all the way down to 17. Ray's going to be on Purdue here. I'm on Purdue. This is the play in this game. And it's one of those where you're not going to have as many, positive talking points here, but just the Boilers' effort. I would think their pass defense is okay given the situation. Yes, feels like a dead spot to a certain extent for Ohio State. So I'm just going to take the points here. It's going to be a free pick. I just was concerned that the line had already moved down to 19 and a half, not much less 19, and I had already been leaning to Purdue. So as I was searching out the games I kind of wanted to cover early and get my pick out there early on it, I was like, wow, this one's really moving towards Purdue. Are the Sharps really, Purdue's 2 and, I think, let me check here, 2-4 against the number so far. Ohio State's 2-1. Now, Ohio State is 1-4 to the under. Purdue 3-3 with the total. And we know Ohio State, they're allowing just 10 points per game. They're averaging 35. That's 45 points. And, well, I mean, we know that the Bucks, handled Maryland. They got the money. They got that push against Notre Dame. Thomas Lewis says he's got Ohio State all day. So looks like it's Thomas and I. That'll be the bet. It feels like to me. Yeah, that's one thing, Tom, right? So I can interpret the misreading on the autocorrect, but I'm not going to show it on the screen. Thomas wouldn't want me to. He wouldn't want me to embarrass it. Money's on Ohio State, but if he fixes it, I've got to show it on screen. So Thomas knows how I do it. He didn't need to fix it, but he did because he wants to be on record right there with his pick on the screen. And you can too. Just comment on YouTube, Facebook, Twitter. I don't get the comments there, but thanks, Thomas. Last year, Ohio State won at home by 28 points. They were favored by 19 in that one. And Boilers won the last time they played in West Lafayette, but that was 5 years ago. But Purdue did beat Ohio State as a 12.5-point dog 5 years ago. That was the last time they met. That was actually other than last year, it was the only time they had met. They did not meet in 2019 in the pandemic season. I want to say, so let me get that straight. In 2021, it was 59-31 Ohio State. They did not meet. They did not meet last year. So I'm on Purdue. I'm going to trust kind of the defense. I'm going to trust the fact that Purdue does pretty well in limiting pass completions a little bit. So, hey, Dave is here. He says Ohio State is not as good this season. I don't know, Dave. They're ranked third in the country. Not teasing you on that. Maybe you think that they're overrated. It sounds like. So, and maybe I do too. Quite frankly, maybe that they're are they really right? Are they really a final playoff team? The Final Four team? Yeah, I mean the path says that they're in, but one slip up is all it's going to take. I don't think it'll be this one, but let's take Purdue plus the. All right. All right, I got a good one here. I think I have a very strong play in this one. So let's talk about it. This one is on the early schedule, actually, moved to noon Eastern and 9 a.m. Pacific. How about that? With Alabama and Arkansas. And look at this total. This total continues to fall. Now, the spread is at 19.5. When we were on that Circus show, that opening line show. I shouldn't say that. I think that probably is a coined phrase or something. But nonetheless, Alabama did not open anywhere near this number. They opened 18.5. They opened 18. They went down to 17.5. But since then, there's definitely been a little bit of push here on the Crimson Tide. I saw them actually go to as high as minus 20 when there was finally a little bit of take back here with the Hogs. And I think we can conclude that Alabama definitely had some improvement on offense, and maybe got it together a little bit, considering what we had seen so far, and all that. Now, are they totally fixed in getting everything all together? I don't know if they are, but I think against Arkansas, certainly. Look, Alabama's averaging 31 points a game, and Arkansas is averaging 31 points per game. Arkansas allows 25 points per game. Both teams have gone over in 4 of their 6 games thus far. So I don't know how low this total is going to go. I kind of wanted to wait, but I was also interested in bragging about how this is a premium play, and I'm giving it to you now. There'll be plenty of plays this week that I'll have on my card, and I'm sorry if subscribers are like, don't do that, we pay for. And I don't know, maybe this one isn't the best. I feel like it's a solid play. I like the fact maybe if I were to express any concern, is the fact that the total is moving lower. But I don't feel like that's going to be the case at all. In fact, I think it's going to be I think the game's going to get into the 50s the way things are going right now. Look, Alabama, they scored 26 points at Texas A&M. I think that was pretty impressive. They got the win. They got the cover. Alabama's covered 3 straight games all of a sudden in pretty nice fashion, right? They clobbered Mississippi State pretty well, scored 40 points. They got the money against Ole Miss when everybody was saying, oh, what's wrong, what's wrong, what's wrong? So they won 5 of their 6. Okay, the Texas game, I get it. But looking at Saturday's Texas game, that was high level. That was pretty high level, right? Hats off to Oklahoma. Texas did a good job, but, they got knocked down. That doesn't necessarily hurt Alabama. I thought that was a pretty high-level game. So I've got this one going over. Arkansas can score here against Alabama at even on the road. Look, will they get the money? I don't know. Maybe I actually prefer Alabama to give, but I also think it might be just a little bit too high. I just wish it was down. I thought when it was going to 17, I was getting ready to look at Alabama here. But Arkansas got the money this past weekend against Ole Miss. They were getting 13. They only lost by 7. They played A&M. Remember that one was at Jerry's World, and they lost that game by 12 points as a 6.5-point dog. They also lost to LSU 34-31, but they were 17.5-point underdogs at LSU. Now, Bama certainly still ranks better than LSU, but not by a ton, right? LSU's okay. They're good. So I've got the over in this one. Alabama's coming back a little bit. You watch out for Bama. Dave says he'll say he'll lay the Bama with the point. He'll lay the points with Alabama. It sounds like here, and I might too. I think I prefer Bama, but I like it as an over. Probably Bama by 20, and that's barely gonna cover. So I guess I got to go a little higher. All right, Bama by 3 touchdowns. I'll agree with Dave here, but let Dave, you give it out. I'm not giving it out yet. I have concerns. My play's on the over. I like the over. It's only gone down so far. Will it continue to go down? I don't know. But I guess you could wait. And one move to 48, that might be or if you see it trickle higher at all, that might be the time. And Ray's going to agree with me, it looks like. Thank you, Ray. All right. Last year was Alabama 49, Arkansas 26 in Fayetteville. So 75 points in that one. And 2 years ago, they played to 77 points. So even I can figure that out. They averaged 76 points combined in the last 2 seasons when they met each other. And the winner of this game has been over at least 42 points in at least 5 straight matchups. Five straight years, basically. The winning team has scored 42 points. The total's 47.5. Okay, maybe this will be the year it all turns around defensively. Doesn't feel like these programs are. I mean, yes, Alabama is down, but they're still doing it Alabama way. So I'm on the over. Come on, this is a premium over Arkansas and Alabama. All right, the rivalry that is the Temple Owls and North Texas. You think of all the great matchups through the years when the team from Philadelphia has played North Texas, all the great finishes, a highlight reel. I mean, you could look in YouTube and get lost. No, these teams have never played each other before. There's no reason to be playing this game. You want to talk about climate change? Why is Temple playing North Texas in a conference game? I even think it might be a better idea for some of these, when you have the payday games. At least they can pay for their plane rides and stuff like that. All right. Well, this is what happens in this conference, so I'm not going to get too crazy on these teams and talk funny about them. But here we are, North Texas at home against Temple. It opened 7. I think it went up to as high as 8.5. Now it's all the way back down to 7. And I'm going to update. Well, no, I'm going to grade myself at 7.5 because I'm going to give out North Texas to win this game, and I'm thinking they're going to win it by double digits. That'll be my play here in this one. I don't know if you guys have any comment yet on this one early in the week like this. The reason why I'm kind of giving it out now is I like it pretty strong. I know that I'm, saying, hey, let me give out maybe the marquee matchups, or kind of skipped over some of these games a little bit last week, but let me just early in the week. I don't know. I was kind of worried the spread was maybe moving against me too, and obviously it's not at this point. So, anyways, Temple 1-5 against the spread so far here, and they're coming to North Texas. I mean, can there really be much interest for a team like Temple? They lost at Tulsa by 22 points. They lost at Rutgers by 20. At least that was in the neighborhood, right? But again, they came down here. They already played one of these trips. They came and played Tulsa and lost by 22 points. North Texas is won at Louisiana Tech. They covered against Navy. So I would think that they can win this one here and win this one by double digits. They beat Abilene Christian. They didn't cover the spread, but Abilene Christian is actually, a bit of a decent team, I would think. Temple, North Texas was favored in that game by 16 points, so they almost did cover. They did fail against Florida International. They were upset in that one. They went in there as big favorites, remember, but now it looks like Florida International is okay before the level anyway. In that one, they were getting all the points and they upset them. And of course, Cal rocked North Texas at the beginning of the season, but North Texas has looked better. They've looked decent here, and you got to think when I look at their offense for North Texas, their passing, they average 13 yards per completion. They also rush for more than 100 yards per game, more than Temple. And defensively, they limit teams to 59%, which is okay, but Temple gives up 65% completion percentage. And I would think that North Texas here, let's see, Temple's allowing what? 34 a game. North Texas is allowing 39, but remember, some of that is skewed. So some of that was skewed by some of the numbers that they gave up to Cal and Florida International. Since then, they've kind of reeled it in a little bit. So, all right, I'm going to take North Texas here to cover the spread in this one. Strong play here. Dave says go. He's got Temple here in this one. Ray says North Texas. Let's see. And it's another one where I just have a strong opinion on it, and that's why I'm coming in with it right now. In fact, let me see here, because I thought maybe I had the steam wrong in this game. I'm never wrong about the steam. I live off the steam. But I thought I saw a move come in right before the show. Let me take a look here and take a look at the line movement. No. It's oops. Bear with me here. Oh, okay. This one I see. This one's a little bit later in the morning. Okay, thanks. Here we go. This one, 2 p.m. Eastern, 11 Pacific in this one, and I've got Ball State here plus the points at home. I thought it moved. That's why I was A little bit curious. Sorry, everybody. Thank you. 17 is the number now. Oh, yeah. Thank you. Okay. I finally figured out what I'm doing. So Toledo took steam right before the show. Uh, you can grade, you know what? I'm just going to leave it. I'm just going to leave it at 15 and a half. You can grade me at 15 and a half. The line's 17. There's no doubt about it. But I was ready to come on the show and tell you that I liked Ball State plus 15 and a half here against Temple. So I'm not sure maybe what the Sharps are thinking here necessarily in this one, because I was looking at Ball State all the way here. This one opened at circa on Saturday at minus 14. It definitely was immediately bumped up. I think you could hear my reaction actually on that show, and I was ready to kind of get on Ball State here. Now, I feel a little bit hesitant because of that. I have not investigated necessarily the steam. Maybe there is some injury or something. I wasn't expecting anything, so maybe it feels just like some regular, taking advantage of a price, 15 and a half here. Maybe they wanted that number, whatever the case may be. But I'm preferring to get in here at 17 against a Toledo team that's failed to cover in 4 straight games. I love teams like this where they win all their games, but they never cover the spread. They're 5-1 overall, are Toledo. Now they're coming on the road here against a Ball State team that has been terrible. But Toledo never covers the spread. 4 straight games. Against Massachusetts, they were favored by 19. They won by 17. Against Northern Illinois, they were favored by 14. They won by 2. Against Western Michigan, they were favored by 21.5. They won by 18. Against San Jose, they were favored by 8.5. They won by 4. They can't cover spreads. They're on the road. If they were at home, maybe I'd give them a chance. I mean, they're playing well. Ball State's not very good. I can't sit here and give you a lot of argument on Ball State as far as what they're doing even in conference right now. It's mostly the fact that Toledo can't cover spreads. Ball State's not covered any spreads either, especially in conference so far. They lost to Eastern Michigan by 2 touchdowns. They lost to Western Michigan by 18 points, and they got rocked by Georgia Southern. They did beat Indiana State 45-7, and they got the money in that game. So the only game they won, they got the money. These are kind of the things that I look for when taking a team that isn't covering any spreads. So it's not a total premium for me, especially if I feel like the steam came in today on Toledo. Kind of worries me a little bit. But teams met last year. Toledo won as a 14-point favorite. You know what they won by? They won by 7. And they were at home in that one. So that, to me, puts me on Ball State. Don't look at Ball State's numbers if you want to. Toledo's 5-1 to the over. Also, just want to mention that as well. But Toledo's got terrific offense. Ball State's got nothing going for it, really, comparatively to Toledo. The one thing that Ball does pretty well, or as well as they can do, is stop the run a little bit. They can slow you down on the run a little bit. That's probably the strength of their team. So Thomas says he does not think Toledo is all that. It sounds like this year Toledo's not that good this year. That maybe this has been kind of I don't want to say it's I'm not going to call it fluky at all, but yeah, when I see teams that are winning but not covering spreads, that's when I continue to like, because people are going to see it. They're going to see the 5-0. They're going to see the 5-1 against the 1-5. Looks like a mismatch here, and does. 17 points. And Toledo should win this. They should win it. And are they going to cover? History would say no. They'll win and not cover. So it does concern that Ball State not covering either. You'd like to see some covers on the back end here. They are 1-4-1. Oh, they had a push, huh? Let me see what that push was again. Well, that was against Georgia, but they were getting 42 points there. They didn't even get a touchdown. And they got rocked by Kentucky too. So, anyways, I'm on Ball State here, and it's a my play here on the show.